hospital has been surrounded by tanks. The Palestinians there, the doctors there have for a while reported sniper fire that has killed a number of people in the compound. And the conditions have been deteriorating significantly. The supplies are running out. There is sewage on the floors. There's not enough food.
That was the BBC, which tends to do a better job compared to US media in covering the ongoing war on Gaza. But BBC was explaining the situation on the ground at Nasser Hospital, the Nasser Hospital Complex, which is just north of Rafah in Khan Younis. Now, thousands of displaced Palestinians and patients have been sheltering there, but not for long, as Israel has in fact ordered them to evacuate this hospital, which is in fact the largest hospital in southern Gaza. Now, Doctors Without Borders reported that displaced people had been ordered to leave and that medical staff and patients had been told that sure, they can stay at the hospital, considering how difficult it is to evacuate patients, some of whom have literally lost limbs as a result of Israel's aerial bombardment of the Gaza Strip. But Palestinians who tried to evacuate are allegedly shot at. As reported by BBC, Dr. Khalid Ulcer, a trauma surgeon, also said that he had treated a 16-year-old boy who was shot at as he tried to leave the hospital. When he reached the gate of the hospital, he was shot by 4 bullets by an Israeli sniper, he added. The Gaza Health Ministry also said Israeli sniper fire killed 3 people and injured 2 others at the hospital on Tuesday. Another 7 people were reportedly shot dead in the courtyard on Monday. And look, it might be incredibly difficult to believe that any military, including the military that has been dubbed the most moral military in the world, which to me is a joke, would do something like this, that they would shoot at patients who are trying to enter the hospital or evacuate the hospital, especially after they've been ordered by Israel to evacuate the hospital. But NBC News actually spoke to a 27-year-old doctor by the name of Mohammed Harara. And in the video that you are about to watch, Palestinian patients are literally ducking Israeli sniper fire as they try to run into the hospital for treatment. Let's watch.
تقلقش كل شيء بيطلع كويس بس انت اعمل زي ما بحكي لك ماشي خلص بخير خلص تقلقوش ماشي ابراهيم اسمع طلع علي اهدى علي بس ما ترجعوا الله يحفظك يا رب الله يحفظك يا رب عيدوا وحوش
Every night after a hard work, I can't sleep due to what I saw during the day. The vision of martyrs and injury.
So imagine being a 27-year-old doctor in a situation where you're getting a massive number of patients come in, an influx of patients coming in with their limbs blown off, with the need for medical attention and surgery with limited supplies. Remember, they are running out of medicine. They've been running out of medicine. And tragically, they've been doing all sorts of medical operations on people without any anesthetics because they have run out of anesthetics. So children who have needed to have amputations have undergone those amputations without any anesthetic. So you have that situation in place, and then at the same time, you have to find a way to get the patients in and out of the hospital as they're being fired at by the IDF. All right, so considering how limited the medical supplies in Gaza are, it is absolutely devastating that the IDF's aerial bombardment of Nasser Hospital also ended up destroying what limited stock they had of the medical supplies that they so desperately need. One doctor at Nasser told the BBC, part of the stock of medical supplies was burned as a result of the morning clashes. Since Monday, with the hospital's infrastructure being affected, sewage has unfortunately begun to flow into the departments located on the ground floors of the hospital. And there's a fear that it will reach the emergency and radiology departments. And Nasser, of course, isn't the only hospital in the Gaza Strip that has dealt with aerial bombardments by the IDF, that has dealt with shelling by the IDF. In fact, intense hostilities have also been reported, according to the BBC, around the nearby Al Amal hospital, which the Palestinian Red Crescent said was raided last week after some 8,000 displaced people and patients complied with an order to evacuate. So people keep getting moved around. Remember, there's now military operations taking place in southern Gaza in Rafah, the border town of Rafah. And Rafah is where you have just this insanely condensed population of Palestinian civilians who were ordered by Israel to leave their homes in the north, leave their homes in some portions of the south, and flee for safety in Rafah. Now they're carrying out military operations in Rafah. The Israeli government has announced that they plan on doing ground operations, a ground invasion into Rafah as well, which they themselves have acknowledged is going to lead to civilian death. So you know what they're doing now? They're telling them to leave Rafah and go north. Okay, well, will the north be safe? The north has been razed, by the way. There's no infrastructure left in the north, no operating hospitals, no shelters, no refugee camps, no mosques, nowhere that they can go for shelter. But will it at least be safe if they pitch tents and live in a massive tent city in northern Gaza? No, there's been no commitment to keeping the Palestinians safe in the north either. But they're being shuffled around regardless. And as they're being shuffled around, some of these Palestinians, unfortunately, are also being targeted with sniper fire, and they're being killed that way, if they're not killed by more of Israel's aerial bombardment. Now, only 11 of Gaza's 33 hospitals, according to the BBC, are currently partially functioning. And that's based on data that was provided by the UN. Not a single hospital in the Gaza Strip is fully functional, which should come as no shock or surprise to you, considering that humanitarian aid, which includes medical supplies, has been blocked from entering Gaza, considering the fact that fuel has been blocked from entering Gaza, fuel that doctors and hospitals desperately need in order to operate the machinery in these hospitals. 28,500 people have been killed in Gaza, including at least 103 in the past 24 hours. That was what BBC had reported as of this morning. I'm sure the number is higher now since the military operations are continuing.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.